Hello, hello. Welcome to Fempreneur True Confessions podcast.
Welcome, everyone. So glad to see you. And really excited to be here today. New times, things change, and we're getting everything going. So, as you know, I'm Laura, and I'm the owner of ODAA. And we help women in business behind the scenes take care of running their business so that they can start to have some of that time back. And really enjoy their business. I think sometimes we get to a point we don't enjoy it. So we're here to help. And that's what we
Yeah.
do.
And I do really we do really similar things, but instead of competing with each other, because we are a little different, we help each other and we partner and we collaborate and we refer back and forth. And so Lady Powerhouse Solutions is project and event management. And yeah, we have a team of people. We both have a team of people that help us, right? And we
Yeah.
help each other. And that's what the podcast is about, is just modeling an abundance mindset, that there's more than enough to go around. We don't have to compete with each other. We can support each other and build each other up. And that's what we do here. And we have an awesome guest with us today.
We do. And I'm okay. So we were saying her name beforehand. And
You can
so
do it.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Andrea. All right. All right. So,
Ferreira.
huh?
I think I said that right. Oh, she's nodding yes.
You didn't do the okay, well, Angelique said it. Thank you. Hi. So after overcoming
Hi.
a 10 plus years severe camera anxiety in her own slow journey, Andrea is now a personal image brand mentor and consultant, passionate about supporting introverted entrepreneurs who want to show up authentically as who they are in their businesses while they make an impact in others' lives. She specializes in supporting them to build camera confidence through boosting their self acceptance and self confidence, leveraging their unique personal brand and gaining clarity to express themselves so they build an intentional presence that speaks their essence.
I just love that.
Great.
Perfect. All
Right?
right.
That's
All right.
perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And Andrea, did I say your last name right? Because I used to have a client with the same last name.
Ferreira. It's
Ferreira. Uh,
Yeah.
um, kind of like Capanina. Yeah, it's got that up instead of down. Awesome, awesome. So I have been stalking you on social media because you are present, girl.
oh,
You are present on social media. So, but one
Yeah.
of the things we like to talk about on here is supporting, as we mentioned, supporting other female entrepreneurs. So we'd love to hear where you've been able to model this, where you have supported another female entrepreneur that could be considered your competition.
yes. Actually, I can tell that it started even in my previous business. I was through about 9 years. I was a contemporary jewelry designer,
Hmm?
and in the first 3 years of it, I was still working on my anxiety to go on camera, and I didn't show for the first 3 years. And I was in that time when I was working on myself, and when I started to show up, other entrepreneurs started to see the difference it was making in my presence, my online presence, and they started to help. But actually there was a competitor, a direct competitor, who I was helping very much, not in a way for she to show up, because she is extrovert and kind of already
Yeah.
was showing up, but I was helping her with product photography, with social media management, because she was very on the creative side, and she showed up naturally because she's extrovert and would pick up the camera, but she liked it in other areas that I
Mhm.
love it very much. And since I was hiding myself and I liked the backstage work, I would help her with that. So yes, during some years, I helped with her backstage work, business work.
Awesome.
Yes,
And did watching her show up, did it help you? Did it inspire you to do the same?
yes,
So it is,
yes,
it's a
yes.
two-way street. That's what I want to point out.
It
It's like,
is.
yes, you were helping her, but at the same time, by being, near her and around her, you kind of benefited
Mhm.
from that. That just gave me goosebumps. I just love
Totally,
that.
Me
totally.
too. I was like, okay, my skin's lighting up. Like,
Yes.
It
Yes.
is because I saw that she's very authentic and would share for me some things I would even today. It's because we need to have boundaries and we need to respect our essence, right? I say this a lot, and for her, there was some things she shared that I even today I don't share. For instance, my I have a kid and I don't share him or my partner because he doesn't like social media.
Mhm.
He is not present online and he doesn't want to be present, and I respect that. And also we protect our kid. And she shares always shared and other things, and I was, oh, that I don't feel comfortable sharing, and it's okay, it's
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
mhm,
It's not a way that, oh, I don't feel comfortable with that, she
Mhm.
shouldn't do that. Okay, if she likes, if it's aligned with her essence, it's okay to do. Sometimes we judge according to our values but don't think about other people's values, right? Because
Right.
we have different values, and even the same value we can attribute different qualities to it, right? So
Mhm.
it's important to have that in mind. But yes, she really inspired me, and she's very talented on what she does, and I saw how putting herself out there
Mhm.
created the community and the connection. And I even saw other people that were not much talented like her or like me at the moment, that they were putting themselves out there and
Yeah.
were creating the community and making the connections that I wasn't making because I was hiding myself.
Yeah.
So yes,
yeah.
all
I were
together make me switch the mindset.
Yeah. Laura and I were part of a training program together, and the trainer used to call it being in the, what was it? The secret?
Sauce.
No, where
Oh.
you would hide. Like you were in the secret service protection,
Oh, yeah. I can't remember
and
what she used
I
to
can't
say, but
remember the
yeah.
term she used, but it was spot on. It was what you're saying, where they're hiding,
Mhm.
um, you know, and it's all based out of fear, right? This fear of whatever, being seen, being judged, whatever. But the fact is, I've learned they're going to judge everybody. You're going to get judged by someone. So might as well put it out there,
Yeah.
so that you can reach your people. And if the other people who judge you, they're not your people, it's
Right.
okay. Lesson release.
Yeah.
And the same thing for, this came up for me the other day, choosing your heart. Like I deal with chronic pain. And some days, man, I really don't want to do those stretching exercises. I really don't want to do the breathing. I really don't want to do whatever.
Mhm.
But so if I don't, I'm going to pay for it later. So I'm choosing my heart.
Yeah.
And some days it's harder than others, but I'm
Mhm.
choosing my heart. But that's like you mentioned, it's about our mindset.
Mhm.
And I loved what you said in the intake form about what you believe the definition or what an abundance mindset is to you. And I would love for you to share that with our audience.
Oh my God, I love that so much. And again, it takes for each person, it's different, right? For me, abundance, it's about all, all about learning, all about grabbing knowledge and share it, contributing. So I'm always learning, and even if it's not business related, because I'm a multi-potential and I love to learn. Every day I need to learn something. So I love life hacks, for instance. It gives me that little boost of knowledge. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
today, I I found this new thing and I try, and it gives me a boost. So, and I love to share with other people, and I'm always learning, and I love that. And I will always say we can life can get hard and we can lose everything, but the knowledge we have, we won't lose that. And
Mm-hmm.
we with that we can share and make other people's lives better, and even our own also. So for me, abundance is about learning knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
sharing. I think that's the other
sure,
key is yes, learning,
Mhm.
but also sharing.
Well, and I
sure,
think
yeah.
sometimes, the same way when you're like a sponge and you soak it up and you get super excited about stuff and then you want to share it. And then there's like a defeating moment when not everybody's quite as excited. I'll get excited about so many things. And then it's like, yeah, yeah, Lord, because that's who I am. I'm a sponge. I'm like, look at this new thing I learned. And I want everybody to be like me.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because what we're learning and sharing out, they take what they want and give back what they don't. We say it all the time. If it doesn't resonate with you, sit with it, let it go. And it's the same thing. They're doing the same thing. My passion about things and how I can go to 60 really quick it's just that. I'm like, I just want to share. And everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't always, I appreciate it, but it's not always necessary, because it can,
Right.
so finding that balance sometimes, but always sharing and knowing and not coming across as arrogant, but just as that excitement of,
Yeah.
guess what I know? Guess what I
Yeah. Yeah. It's not about it being boastful or showing off. It's about look what I learned. And that's what this podcast is about.
Mhm.
The mistakes that we've made as female entrepreneurs, sharing those mistakes so the next woman doesn't make them or make the same one or can learn from, you know, build on our mistakes, right? And
Mhm.
I just love that. And since we're talking about experiences and inspiring and supporting other female entrepreneurs, um, do you have a story that you can share, Andrea, about um, an experience that you had that where there was, it inspired you or you inspired another female entrepreneur in their journey?
It's not actually a story, but it's when people ask me about who inspired me the most, it's not the most, but the first person who inspired me and made me believe that other reality is possible if we believe,
Hmm.
kind of taught me to dream. It
Mhm.
was Tina Turner.
I
I
love
was
this
very
story.
little. I was very little. I don't remember the age, but my growing story, it wasn't easy, and I was in a rare moment that I would have a TV at home that was working. I saw the movie about Tina Turner live, and I love it so much. And she shows us that
Yeah.
it's possible to find and to work to have another reality, and I love it so much. And I still remember the mantra she was singing in she because she was very much about meditation and all those things. And no, I was about 8 or 9 years old when I saw the movie. I know I was little. I'm not that big nowadays, but yes, I that touched me very much, mostly because it's a movie about a true story, all right?
Right.
And she always shared that strength, and yes, she is always with me.
That's
Love
awesome.
it. I
You
love
just
that.
never know, right? Like you never know who your story will impact. And that's why it's so important for us to share our stories and talk about our stories and our experiences, good or bad, ugly or pretty. Because when you share that story, it makes one, even if it makes one person feel less alone, then you've made an impact in the world. There's a woman right now on TikTok that I am just so fangirling over. Her TikTok name is Risa Tisa. And I see, I just get goosebumps just saying her name. And that's not her real name, but she went on and she did a series of 10-minute videos telling her story about her relationship and divorce from her husband. And it was very traumatic. And she had over 50 of these 10-minute videos. She had like millions of people watching her. Since then, she's gone on the Today Show. And I go every day. I go and I check TikTok now. I didn't used to do that. Um, and it's just her story has made such an impact on so many women. She walks down the street now and women stop her and hug her. And she said it will never get old. And I'm like, yeah, see, I'm getting kind of teary because it was not easy. And she's taken a lot of flack from
Mhm.
complete strangers, not anyone of real importance, I don't think. Even his side of the family is like backing her. Like, yeah, he's
Mhm.
like a pathological liar. He's always been a pathological liar. And, you know, um, um, oh, Sarah is on and she left us on LinkedIn and she left a comment. She says, I love that you can never lose your knowledge. That's so true. Hi,
Beautiful.
Sarah. Thanks for
Hi,
chiming
Sarah.
in. Sarah's in Wyoming, tuning in from Wyoming. So anyway, I kind of diverted there, but I just wanted to share that that just demonstrates how if you had. I'm going to ask you a follow up question. If you hadn't seen that movie, would your life be different?
I don't know, but probably because I always saw my reality, and my father is very very positive because he tried
Oh,
to
that's good.
silver coat things,
Mm-hmm.
but we understand, right? Even when we are kids, we
Yes,
understand.
we know the
We
truth.
may not understand all, but we understand. And always was like, I don't want this reality for me. I didn't knew at the time that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but yes. And another story I just remember here. My first job was on how do you say in English? A local shop that sells um, pens, book notes
Retail?
for
Oh, like a stationery store?
school.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes. And there was a woman that she was from my village, but I didn't saw her for years. She married and went to another place, and years after she went there and she was buying some things, and she was telling me that she was going on business and she was going to open elderly house for old people to go
Okay.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Like a
know
nursing home.
in English. Okay, and I was and she told me this is something. Uh, my the brain is amazing how it goes and picks up. I just remembered this a few weeks ago, and she told me I don't want she was going on this entrepreneur journey, and she told me, I don't want to sell stamps all my life, because
Mm,
she was working on post office selling stamps, and she told me that, and that kept on my mind. And a few weeks back, I remember that from nowhere. I didn't remember about that. Don't remember why that came, but there are simple things that were compounding.
mhm,
And yes, uh, some people say, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I would sell everything. It was on my essence, but for me, it was kind of a compound effect. Effect, yes.
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
I
Mm.
think
yes.
I say all the time that we were lucky as children that my mother surrounded us by very strong, powerful, amazing people. So, though she didn't always have the skill set, we always had people around us that guided us through life. And those choices that she made were amazing for us. And I think that's what it is. What you're saying is compounds, where in life, there's inspiring things, big things, but it's also those little ones that kind of compound
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So, was there one more than one? Was there one example where you led through action with someone, or someone else did this for you? Like someone, you saw someone else do something and you're like, oh, I want to do that. Or you did it and someone said that about you.
I always remember what I got, and this is probably my first coach, because when I was on my journey to release the anxiety of going on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and this made me take courses to know how to pose, and I bring that to know how to pose. I was on fashion industry for about 18 years. During that time, I took my certification as an image consultant, but it was to help to make pieces with my self image, in a way to speak.
Mm,
But with my first business coach, I understood that I was using those tools to try to be perfect,
mm,
and she was triggering me, because not because what she said, and she told she was always delivering those nuggets of wisdom, but it was about who she was, who she is actually. She was very casual. It was the first entrepreneur, very casual, very. It's not that she doesn't care about herself, but she doesn't bother about what others think. So she was not
mhm.
about fulfilling and trying to be perfect. She already have many things on her plate. So I understood that I was grabbing all the tools and the knowledge I wanted to
Mhm.
overcome the fear of judging, and the fear of being on camera. And I understood that I needed to find my essence, because I was trying to be perfect to be accepted by society. And it was with her way of being that I understood that I needed to align all the things with my essence. And once I did it, now I can help other people. And yes, I'm because again, I'm very tuned with nature, and grounding myself, and
Mm,
I was doing things, but I was not feeling in alignment. If other people like to be in a more polished way, it's okay, it's them.
right.
But for me, it wasn't working, and I know, like, it was happening with me, it happens with many women, because we
Yes.
are taught from young age to be polite, to always smile. I smile a lot, but to always smile, to be kind, to be pretty, to don't get messy, all those things, right? And this all the learning that we get from young age, these will create blockages and
Mm,
make us hold ourselves from showing up.
mhm.
And nowadays, I want to kind of demystify that you don't need, because there are plenty of proofs out there that
Yeah.
you don't need to be all that perfect looking to have success in business.
Yeah.
And yes, I it's what I advocate. If people are reaching that, it's okay for them, but I don't want for my clients, for my people, to try to look polished or to have that rich look, like many say, if
Right,
it's not in
right. Because
alignment with them.
honestly, when I see someone that is dressed to the nines, has their hair perfect, their makeup's perfect, they're totally accessorized, they're all, I don't know, like
Done
you
that.
said, they're just completely polished and perfect. I
Mhm.
cannot relate to that. I don't
I-
trust you. Something's going on, and
yeah.
it is not something I can achieve because that is not me. So it's hard to relate to someone like that or trust them. And so it almost backfires when you're
Mhm.
Yes,
too together, too
totally.
produced. That's why for
Totally.
me it was really important that this really be a live podcast, that it not be pre-recorded and edited and all those things, because like this is real life. These are the types of things that we do as women. We get together and we talk.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
talk and we talk about real shit.
And we do that. Oh my God, look at me today. And then it doesn't matter after that second. Like
Mhm.
everybody goes, whatever, you're fine.
Whatever. You look great.
And I'm
And
natural. I did business and I used to have to dress up and I was in court and
Me
I did
too.
my
Me
hair and
too.
makeup and all that. And when I got to a point where they're like jeans and t-shirts were allowable or a nice shirt and jeans, that was it for me for life. Makeup stopped. I don't I don't even dry my hair. I wash it. It's so long that it is just what it is. But it's those things where I really have been a pretty much an all natural girl most of my life. And when
Yeah.
I had to do makeup and when I was doing my hair, I was still doing things that didn't require a whole bunch of stuff on me, and we just grew up that way. And I
Mhm.
had plenty of people come and be like, if you would just put a little bit of lipstick or if you would just poof your hair a bit. And before we go on, every time before we go on, I shake my hair out and
She
I
takes
do
her hair down.
I go like
Like,
this and I'm like, all right, whatever. Because it's in my head. But as we get going, it's whatever. Who gives a fuck? And I just keep going.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
and nowadays we see a lot.
Reborn.
The other day I was seeing someone telling that you need to be well dressed so you reach to high paying clients. And it's not true. We need to demystify that not all polished people uh, or all high paying clients only uh, connect with polished people. It's not true.
Mhm.
It's
I
not
see
true.
more
Because
Yeah.
like rich, high level, whatever you want to call it, people that are in jeans and t-shirts and dirty sweats and holy shirts and beat up shoes and driving not fancy cars. Like
yeah.
their everyday life does not
Mhm.
look like what it does
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
screen.
Yeah.
Yes,
And it's
totally.
made people so much more relatable. Like I can relate so much more to um oh, what's his name? Gary Vaynerchuk, for example. He's not he doesn't
I love
oh, right. Right. Don't you love him? Like he just calls it like it is. Like he takes these
totally.
questions from young people and you expect him to answer this way and he just says, why the fuck would you do that?
Right.
Like he's like, why would you do that? Tell me
Mm-hmm.
why you did that. And he's trying to understand their motivation so he can give them an answer that they can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
everything the man does is intentional.
Mm-hmm.
He and his marketing is so like off the cuff. He like just has people recording him just shooting the shit, and and it's gold. He says gold, like, and he's got a new book out that I really, really, really want. Um, but anyway, I digress. Um, love Gary Vaynerchuk,
Yeah.
but he shows up in jeans and a t-shirt and a ball cap. He's not in a
And
three-piece suit.
I was remembering, I think it was last year or the other. He went to a kind of a convention. He was going to speak on the he was a guest to speak, but it was all tight people, all polished people, and he was on the sneakers, right? And the man told, "Oh, you cannot enter like this." Yeah, and he told, "Oh, but I'm going to speak. If you grab me some shoes, I put some shoes and I go." But then the people who organized it saw that it was Gary Vee, and he went like
Like, oh,
he
Gary
is.
Vee can do whatever he wants.
So I was he nailed it again.
I love it.
I love
He's so kind. He shows how to treat people. Nowadays, people behind the screen can be very bad, and he always tried to understand how people are mean, but they are not okay for being mean, right?
Oh,
No, it's
And
not
this
okay.
is also something that we need to understand. It because many people hold, mostly women, hold from showing up online because of the bad
Mean
feedback.
girls.
But we
Yeah.
need to understand that it's not about us, it's about them.
It's a
The
reflection of
problem
them,
is
not us.
always on them. And if we do something that triggers them, it's their problem and they need to fix that.
well,
But
Yeah.
many
sometimes
people
just
don't do
being
the work.
is will cause that trigger. And some of us can give off an energy that just naturally triggers people. So understanding that and knowing, okay, well that doesn't have if I'm just triggering you by being here, and that really has nothing to do with me. And I'm just
Hmm.
gonna keep doing what I do because apparently something's going on. But it's yeah, you're right. Where it's being around that and figuring that out is
Yeah.
it's just not
Beautiful.
you. It's knowing because those are confidence killers that they don't like me. I'm not gonna do this. When we first started the podcast, we had agreed to live. And then she started the podcast. She put the schedule out. Somebody booked right away. And I was like, recorded. She's like, nope, live. I'm like, no, recorded. We went back and forth for a minute because I was like, I swear you promised me recorded, at least for the first couple.
No,
Nope,
sorry.
nope. And
No, I
so
did
we
not.
went live
Because
and
why?
she
I
dragged me
hate editing
music.
video, and we didn't have a video editor. So I'm like, we're going live. Like, we're doing this ourselves. And girl, I ain't going to edit no video.
Crazy. Yeah. And I've been
And
on
in
stage most of my life. Like all of a sudden at 25 or 26, I got stage fright and I came off stage and I stayed behind the scenes from that point on. And then she's like, we're going live. She's like, you've been on stage. No, I'm good. So we did it every week. I go through this like, oh God, every week. But I still get on. I still do it. I
Aw.
face it every
Every
time.
week?
I have an anxious moment every week before we get on where I'm like,
Well, lately, since
what you are
this
doing.
year, our bookings have slowed down, and we've always said that the universe. We just let people book. We invite them, and we have one podcast booking agency that's decided that they like us, and they've been sending us some guests. But other than that, I think we had a few guests already lined up for January. But since then, we haven't really had that many bookings. So you're this month. Next month we've got Laura. Why don't you introduce next month's guest? Because she's like a client of yours, right?
yes, let me get to it. So Sarah
So
M, she is somebody I had met, and then we've done work for
okay.
through Otis. So yeah, and she's great. I mean, what she's been through is pretty crazy.
She
But
has
next,
a story as well. I know. I can't wait.
and she does. So Sarah grew up in Cambodia, where she overcame 4 years of captivity and mass genocide that claimed 2 million lives. That's 1/4 of the Cambodian population. Through her own resilience and God's help, she escaped, fled to America, graduated college, and wrote an award-winning book called How I Survived the Killing Fields.
Wow.
And now she speaks, coaches, and inspires others to have hope, courage, and a positive perspective in life. Her inspiring message has been heard at corporate events, conferences, churches, schools, TV, podcasts, radio, and more. She is a founder and director of Christian Professional Network of Tampa Bay, owner of Smart Healthy Living, which is a wellness business. And in her spare time, she enjoys participating as a member of Women's Speakers Association, Toastmasters International, and Better Living for Seniors. Sarah resides in Florida, where she recently celebrated her 34 years of marriage with her husband.
That's awesome. She's close to me. So she's in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
And she's the greatest. Her story is pretty incredible, just hearing about it and the stuff that went on and what they went through and the escapes and the attempts and things like that. So
she'll be with us April 1st. So be sure to join us or watch the replay to hear Sarah M's story. And Andreia,
with the new time
thank you.
and stuff like that. So we're so glad you're here. And we know we changed times on y'all, everybody. So we're going to get this figured out.
Thank you so much for coming and being with us. We so appreciate your time and you sharing your nuggets of advice and experience. Like Sarah said, you can never lose your knowledge. The experience and the knowledge and the wisdom that you gain through your experiences, no one can ever take that away from you. And I think that's one of the best nuggets we're going to pull out of this conversation.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun. I like it a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, listeners, for listening. And as always, we'd love to include you in everything we're doing. So be sure to follow us wherever you're listening or watching this podcast, and subscribe so we can keep you in the loop. And we will see you guys on April 1st with Sarah M. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Bye. Thank you.